Have you ever met a stranger who somehow felt familiar? Someone who entered your life in the most random way, but ended up changing everything? That's exactly what happened to her. A powerful CEO, used to controlling every moment of her life. And a single father, just trying to keep his world from falling apart. Two people. Two different worlds. And one sleepless night, 30,000 feet above the clouds. The airport was chaos that evening. Flight delays. Announcements echoing through the terminal. And in the middle of it all, stood Elena Moore. Her sharp heels clicked against the marble floor. Every step was controlled, every gesture calculated. She wasn't just a businesswoman, she was the business. The youngest female CEO in her company's history. Feared by her team. Respected by her rivals. Admired by the press. But right now, she wasn't thinking about success. Her mind was numb from back-to-back meetings, a failed deal, and a dozen unread emails. All she wanted was silence. Her assistant ran toward her, panting. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, the first-class seats are overbooked. They've offered a downgrade." Elena's eyes narrowed. "A downgrade," she repeated, as if the word itself was foreign. But after a moment, she sighed. "Fine. I just need to get home." She didn't know that decision, that one small inconvenience was about to change her life. The economy section was crowded, noisy, and full of tired passengers. Elena adjusted her jacket, trying not to touch the person next to her. Her seatmate, a man in his early 30s, with soft eyes and a quiet smile, noticed her discomfort. He shifted slightly, giving her space. "Rough day?" he asked kindly. She gave him a polite nod. "Something like that." He chuckled. "You look like someone who runs the world." "Close enough," she muttered, opening her laptop. As the plane took off, she dove into her work. Emails, proposals, charts. But her eyes were heavy, her fingers stiff. Eventually, exhaustion took over. Her head tilted slowly to the side. And before she could stop herself, she fell asleep. Right there on the shoulder of a total stranger. The man froze. He looked down at her, this woman in a tailored suit, the kind of person who probably lived on coffee and deadlines. But now, she looked peaceful. Human. For the first time, her face wasn't covered in stress. Just softness. He smiled faintly and let her rest. When turbulence shook the cabin, Elena stirred. Her eyes fluttered open and she froze, realizing her head was resting on his shoulder. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she gasped. He laughed quietly. "It's okay. You probably needed that more than I did." She blinked at him. "You're not going to make a joke about it?" "No," he said simply. "I know what it's like to be tired." She tilted her head. "You do?" He looked down at his hands. "Single dad. 3 jobs. Sleep is a luxury." Elena's expression softened. "Single dad?" He nodded. "Yeah. My daughter Sophie." She's 7. I'm flying to take her to my parents. She's been through a lot since her mom passed. Her heart sank. She didn't expect that answer. For a moment, she forgot the world of contracts and numbers. I'm sorry, she whispered. He smiled faintly. Don't be. She's the strongest little girl I've ever met. They talked quietly through the night. He told her about Sophie, how she loved drawing rainbows and dreamed of becoming an artist. Elena listened, genuinely. It was the first real conversation she'd had in weeks. Then, he asked, "What about you? You work for someone important." Elena hesitated. Something like that. He laughed. You have that, boss energy. She smiled for the first time in hours. I am the boss. His eyes widened. Oh. That kind of boss. She chuckled softly. Don't worry. I'm off duty. The cabin lights dimmed. And for the first time in a long time, she felt normal. As the plane began its descent, sunlight broke through the clouds. The sky turned gold, painting her face with warmth. You should smile more often, he said suddenly. She blinked. What? You look lighter when you do, he said. Like someone who remembers what peace feels like. She stared at him, speechless. No one had ever said something like that to her. When they landed, they exchanged polite goodbyes. But as he walked away, she found herself watching him and wondering why it felt like she was leaving something unfinished. Days passed. Elena was back to her usual world: boardrooms, presentations, endless pressure. But her mind kept drifting back to that quiet man on the plane. His calm voice. His kindness. His daughter's name Sophie. One evening, while reviewing her company's charity proposals, something caught her eye. A small grant request titled, "The Sophie Hale Art Program for Children Who Lost Their Parents." Her heart skipped a beat. The same name. The same story. Without thinking, she approved it personally. 2 weeks later, she visited the community center where the program had started. It was small, but filled with laughter, color, and warmth. Children painted on walls, tables, and even their faces. And right there, covered in paint and smiling, was Ryan. The man from the plane. He froze when he saw her. Elena. She laughed softly. Small world. He looked around, surprised. You funded this. Let's just say I believed in the right person, she said. Just then, a small girl ran up to them. Sophie. She held out a crayon drawing. It showed a woman asleep on a man's shoulder, with a plane above and a heart floating between them. Elena's voice trembled. You drew this? Sophie grinned. Daddy said you were tired, so I made you happy again. Elena knelt down, hugging her gently. Thank you, sweetheart. You already did. Later that evening, Ryan walked her to the door. You didn't have to do all this, he said quietly. I wanted to, she replied. You reminded me what real success looks like. He smiled. You helped us more than you know. They stood together, watching the children play. And for the first time in a long time, Elena felt something she hadn't felt in years: peace. Months passed. Their friendship grew. She visited often, sometimes helping the kids paint, sometimes just watching Sophie's laughter light up the room. One afternoon, while helping the kids mix colors, Sophie asked innocently, "Miss Elena, are you gonna be my new mommy?" Elena froze, blushing. Ryan turned red, trying to laugh it off. "Sophie, we don't just ask people that." But Elena smiled softly. "It's okay, sweetheart. Let's see what the future paints for us." Their bond deepened naturally. Ryan admired her strength, her heart, her vulnerability behind the armor. And she admired his patience, his kindness, the way he loved his daughter. Slowly, her heart, once made of steel, began to soften. They worked together to expand the program. Her company sponsored art schools for children in need. He became the creative director. Every success felt personal now. Every victory, shared. One evening, standing at the rooftop of the new art center, the sunset painting the sky in gold and pink, Elena whispered, "You know, I thought I was saving you that day on the plane." Ryan smiled. "Really? I thought you were the one who needed saving." They laughed softly. Maybe they were both right. Sometimes, the universe doesn't make mistakes. It just rearranges two broken souls until they fit together again. A few months later, at Sophie's art exhibition, Elena walked in holding a small framed photo, a picture taken secretly by one of the kids. It showed her and Ryan, side by side, laughing as Sophie held both their hands. On the back, Sophie had written in crayon, "Family." Elena felt tears in her eyes. For the first time, the word felt right. She looked at Ryan and smiled. "Maybe this is what I was working for all along." He took her hand gently. "Not numbers. Not power. Just this." The room filled with laughter, applause, and love. And as Elena looked at the paintings around her, all colors of hope and second chances, she realized something beautiful. Life doesn't always give you what you plan for. Sometimes, it gives you what your heart needs most. One flight. One shoulder. One unexpected connection. And a reminder that even the strongest hearts sometimes just need a place to rest. Because love doesn't always come with a warning. Sometimes, it just falls asleep beside you.